Remember, she
And just so Bungie listens to my idea, they should add a lot of turrets, like a lot of turrets in it. As well as like random Cabal drop pods should kill the player. Like that also should be in there. Now that I have your attention, center bank, double points, hunt, triple points, big threshold, home base, ×1. Each team gets a home base. It all rotates, all randomly rotates, designated spawns. If teammate drops Crest and you pick it up, it negates the Crest. Okay, I lied. No more turrets and drop pods. Please. Please. Anytime I use Traveler's Chosen, man, I feel like Anakin, you underestimate my power. And the scout rifle is like, don't do it, Cammy. And I'm over here 70 meters away shooting him with Traveler's Chosen. Okay, so Editor Cammy here now. The video that was supposed to be today was one on shotguns, 1-2 punch, killing bubbles, the prophecy shotgun, etc. But after doing some more testing on those, they weren't exactly what I thought they were. So now I have to restructure that video. Today's video is going to be my suggestion on how to improve the Tribute game mode, and I just put some stream clips at the beginning because that's kind of where that idea got spurred. So previously, Tribute had it so if you picked up Crest, you got super energy. And I don't know what Bungie's fixation is with making every variation of Iron Banner somehow mayhem, and Cabal turrets, and Cabal drop pods, but it's a little overused to a point where it does make me not look forward to queuing Iron Banner. They fixed that in this version of Tribute. However, it's very stalematey. When there's one bank on each side of the map, people kind of just look at each other in a death ball firing line, and the only realistic way the score goes up is somebody out of the death ball drops, they catch a stray, a Crest falls on the floor, someone picks it up, they bank it, then at the 30-point threshold, a bank in the middle of the map spawns, and then the game is playable again because there's a centralized objective. As usual with Bungie's design decision, I feel like it was made around Bubble and Well, because if there was only one bank, it would just be Barricade, Healing Rift, Bubble, Well chaining until one team wins if the other team didn't randomly get match made with also having Bubbles and Wells on their team. I don't know what it is at Bungie that makes Well Radiance and Bubble immune to any tuning whatsoever in the sandbox. It's like to the point where I'm going to use my Bungie name change my name to Well Radiance, and then I know I will never be banned. Anyways, back on topic. So the central zone doesn't work because there's too many defensive, easy options, and the two banks don't work because it turns into death balls and firing lines. But what if there were 3 banks so that both strategies were viable, but one couldn't be significantly more dominant than the other? There could be a home base so that the laners have some way to get points on the board, and then there could be a double point bank in the middle at all times. Of course, they're going to randomly rotate. They're going to shift the position just a little bit, so a bubble doesn't have dominant control over one bank for 30 seconds. Ideally, that would create some flow and movement back into this mode, whereas it's just really stale otherwise. It's not one of my favorites. If I had to do a tier list, Tribute would be somewhere towards the bottom middle, but not totally the bottom. The bottom is reserved for Eruption, which is worse mayhem. Aside from the no movement thing, the second pain point is the fact that the Crest don't work like Supremacy, where if you're in a firing line versus another firing line, you kill an opponent, their teammate can pick up that Crest and then run it back to their bank for a free point, whereas from Supremacy rule set, it should just cancel out that Crest. There should be blue Crest and there should be red Crest. Pick up the blue, and that prevents the enemy from getting a point. Pick up a red, and you have to bring it to a bank. The third pain point I would say is the maps not making any sense for this mode whatsoever. I think Cauldron played like garbage, and Vostok also was very stalematey. I remember a game on Meltdown where we had 2 equally skilled teams, and nobody wanted to move. They did the standard deathball firing line, and it took a very long time for the middle bank to spawn, and when it did, it spawned on the enemy's side of the map. It already spawned on their fortress by random chance. See, on Meltdown, it can either go inside or outside, and that's naturally where the firing lines fight each other. So you have a 50% chance to win the match, because after that middle double score bank and supers come out, you aren't winning. The final pain point of this mode isn't really the mode, it's the sandbox. I feel like there's way too much special ammo. Like, I practically never run out, but I also keep track of when my opponents are also fighting me with their shotgun, and it just doesn't add up. But then I realized it. In this mode where your points are primarily through banking Crest, sometimes this opponent dies like 10 times, and then they spawn up with special, which is a future problem for me. I don't really know what the solution is, and it definitely isn't special crates, but I just want to mention that it does feel terrible this far into Destiny. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I hate the special ammo so much. And every time I say it, someone goes, but Cam, how am I supposed to clutch up? What about hero moments? And the answer has always been to heroically aim with your primary and hit your shots. That's always been the answer, and they just don't want to hear it. On subject though, maybe the transmat system also has to care about the archetype. I know there are some bug fusions and some glaives that are only getting 1 ammunition, and funny enough, the one time I tried the Wise and Rebuke fusion, I got a collat with it both shots that I got transmatted. So it's kind of funny that I accidentally did something that was worth 1 ammo, but it should really be 2. Or maybe shotguns and high impact fusions should be 1, and rapid fire shotguns should be 2 transmat. This theme could also apply to the crates in the future. I don't know, I just feel like the weapon archetype itself does make a difference in its potency, and that should be reflected in the ammo system. Anyway, too long, didn't watch, skip to the end. If you want to know, I don't like this mode, and I gave it a real try. I played it all week, and I tried to understand it, and the more I understood it, the more I disliked it.